In the far southwest of Western Australia, where a rugged limestone ridge meets the Indian and Southern Oceans, there's an event that is etched into the very fabric of Australian mountain biking. More than a race, this is a celebration of endurance, resilience, and the embracing spirit of the mountain bike community. For 15 years, the Cape to Cape has been at the heart of off-road cycling in Australia, growing from a local gem to a race that draws competitors from all over the world. This is an event that unites riders from seasoned pros to weekend warriors. While many events have come and gone, the Cape to Cape has endured, evolving every year to incorporate the best trails, the best locations, and the best riders in the sport. Its own endurance mirrors that of the many thousands of racers who have participated in the event over the years. So join us as we celebrate the legacy, the camaraderie, and the sheer exhilaration of mountain bike racing. This is the Cape to Cape 2023, a race like no other. Nestled in the southwestern corner of Australia's great landmass, the Margaret River region is a natural wonder. A collage of rolling vineyards, towering Karee forests and white sand beaches that dance along the edge of the Indian Ocean. The Cape to Cape is a 4-day event that takes the riders from Cape Leeuwin in the south to Cape Naturaliste in the north. The race makes its way from the Cape Leeuwin lighthouse through Burranup Forest and Margaret River to finish at Dunsborough and Cape Naturaliste. With hills, bush, coast and kilometres of single track, the course takes in everything great about the region.
Here we are, Cape to Cape 2023. Welcome along. It's so good to have you here today. Of course, starting at the iconic Cape Leeuwin Lighthouse, 39 kilometres. It is going to be a sensational 4 days of mountain biking, almost 1,000 riders for 2023. So great to have you here. Hope you have a super time. We're looking forward to seeing lots of faces and sharing lots of stories with you in the coming days.
This is an event for both solo riders and pairs, but following the lead of other Epic Series races, the focus is on the men's, women's and mixed pairs events. There are elite, experienced amateurs and first-timers partnering up for the 2023 Cape to Cape.
It's the first time,
yeah.
And it's the first time we've done a pairs event together.
Yeah. It's a new all-round.
So I won't say it's going to test the relationship because we get along really well.
Yeah.
So I think I find it more fun in pairs. I think riding it solo, I've done that before and it is fun, but I think you just really find that you help motivate each other as well, and yeah, makes you push yourself a little bit harder if you're the weaker rider, which is me.
Traditionally we are road-only riders and this is our first Cape to Cape. And yeah, no, we had to give it a solid crack in our age group anyway. So we're in the 40 to 49 and yeah, we're looking forward to it,
Yep. With the 800 plus riders assembled, they are sent on their way with a traditional welcome to country.
Hi everybody, hello. It's good to see you all on saltwater country, all together on saltwater country. So yeah, while you're on our country, we just ask that you take the time to to look and see our beautiful country. To take the time to listen with your ears as the wind talks and the country talks upon the winds. We hope that our Dema and Goma, our ancestors, will look after you all and keep you all safe on country while you're here. So yeah, on behalf of my family, I'd like to say Kaya, Nyaramort, Kariyara, Yaranga, Warandi, Bujara, which is our family, welcomes you all together here on saltwater country. Have a great day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In year one of the Cape to Cape, less than 100 riders departed the lighthouse. In 2023, over 800 keen riders head off onto the 15th edition of this iconic event. As it has been since the very beginning, Skippy Rock Road is the first test of the 4 days. Stage 1 is designed to help the riders find their place in the field for the stages to come. Consequently, there are plenty of challenging climbs packed into the 35-kilometre course. From Skippy Rock Road, the course descends through Car Reef Forest to the base of the second climb up Heartbreak Hill. Once onto the tops, it's fast and hard along the gravel roads and single track at the northern end of the stage. From here, it's a steep climb back to the top via Sally's Hill before they retrace their tracks to Skippy Rock Road and the welcome sight of the finish line back at Cape Leeuwin Lighthouse.
Yeah, we're a little bit handcuffed in terms of stage 1, that we have to start at the Lighthouse and we wouldn't choose anywhere else. And I think we now have a like circuit course, round course, get back starters at the finish idea. And we know it's a great seeding course, and we know that Skippy Rock Road climbs hard, but you can have a mass start with 1,000 riders and it sorts them all out. It automatically seeds them in the first 5K of the events. And it's just so iconic, that Lighthouse, which is what our dream was 17 years ago when we first drove down. That's where we started. And it's awesome going back. I love going back. It's only got prettier, that Lighthouse. You never know what sort of day you're going to get there. We've got a really good day this year. And I've seen some horrible days down there. But when we got down there, we knew the weather forecast was good. It just feels like such a special place to start an event.
Last year on this stage, the lead pair of John Odoms and Brendan Johnson set a new record with an impressive time of 1 hour, 17 and 42 seconds. This year's course, a little bit longer, but that record still looks under threat. It's youth versus experience as the Trek Shimano pairing of Cam Ivory and Dan McConnell battle it out against 15-year-old Connor Wright and partner JP Vandermeer. Behind them in third is the Giant Mandurah PCS racing team. A bit further back, teenagers Caitlin Brazier and Elizabeth Nussbaum riding for Rock Salt Live Shram lead the open women's event. On the single track stages to come, the racing is tight and technical, but stage 1 is more a test of who has the legs and who has the form. Approaching the last big climb of the day up Sally's Hill, the two open men's pairs are neck and neck. At the top, just 1.8 kilometres later, the Trek Shimano duo have taken the advantage and opened up a 50-second lead. Behind the second place Mallow Velo pair is the solo men's race leader, Joel Green. Riding them is a challenge of technique as much as fitness, and for most of the field, it's easier just to push the whole bike.
It's a brutal.
It's a brutal.
But it's fun. There's no mountain in Singapore, so this is really a new thing for us.
I think I got a little bit of dirt on my face.
Let's have a look.
Just a little bit.
Nobody loves Sally's Hill, but riders still return to the Cape to Cape year after year. Among the field are riders who have completed 10, 12 or even more Cape to Cape events.
15 times, I think.
15 events, 15 times up Sally's Hill.
It's getting harder every year. You know what? This is the best year yet. It's after this is my 10th year, and it's like wine. It just gets better and better.
With just 4 kilometres to go, the day looks set to go the way of Cameron Ivory and Dan McConnell. The Trek Shimano pair have continued to open up the lead and look comfortable as the Lighthouse and the finish line come back into view. It has been a blisteringly quick stage, and the Trek Shimano boys crossed the line in 1 hour 18 and 45 seconds to take the stage win and move into the coveted yellow jerseys. The Mallow Velo pair are 1 minute and 35 seconds behind for second overall on the stage, and a further 3 minutes back in third are the Giant Mandurah PCS racing pair of Darby Gay Bleu and Joel Dodds. After some tight racing in the open mixed pairs category, returning champions at Roller RC come in for another stage win. But the grimace of pain on Peter Mullins' face suggests more than just tired legs.
Here come our lead mixed pairs, Peter Mullins.
Behind them, the youthful pairing of 16-year-old Caitlin Brazier and 22-year-old Elizabeth Nussbaum bring it home in 1 hour 47 minutes to take the lead in the open women's general classification.
She's 16.
You look like That's good. That's well done. Awesome work.
Those climbs are hard out there. Yeah.
It's quite different, isn't it?
The courses at Cape to Cape are designed to be achievable for most abilities, but it's how hard you go that defines how tough the days will be. What really matters to the majority of the riders is crossing the line in one piece, ready to tackle the remaining 3 stages and doing it with a smile on the face.
We had the best day out there. Lots of sand and dust, evidently, so ready for tomorrow.
Back in Margaret River, the leaders' jerseys are handed out, but Peter Mullins can only hold her green jersey up in front of her. She has damaged her shoulder in a collision with a tree, and her prospects of making it through one more stage, let alone 3, have taken a hit. On the start line of day 2, the jersey is on, but the discomfort is obvious.
Yeah, we were ticking along pretty well actually, and then the last probably 20 minutes of raid going down the wall, a tree jumped out of nowhere and stopped Peter, so she's hurt her shoulder a bit, and yeah, took a bit of a hit there, but I think she's going to start today, and a lot of pain to move the arm up and down, but yeah, a few Panadols and deep heat and that might get her through, but once it warms up, who knows, it could be okay. We won this stage last year. It's probably our favourite stage because it's a lot of power, and you get on the kind of flattish downhills, and it really suits us. So it's a bit of a shame we won't be able to kind of go as hard as we'd like today, but it is our favourite stage by far, yeah.
While the mixed pair look ahead to what is sure to be a tough day, the Open's women's leaders are stoked with their matching jerseys in what is their first race together.
Well, Caitlin's actually done a couple of pairs racing before. This is the first time for me, and we're both new to the Rock Salt Live SRAM team. It's our first time. We actually met each other for the first time at XCM Nationals, where Caitlin picked up a gold and I picked up a bronze. Yeah, it was just really nice. We're not used to riding in such sandy conditions, but I think it'll be a fun day out and challenging as well.
Whether you went super hard or you took it easy on stage 1, stage 2 is 20 kilometres longer and the body is going to hurt regardless of where you are in the field.
I do this every day regardless of bike riding. Yeah. I'm sore every day.
I'm actually out riding today.
Mr. Barber Wine's hosting us today, 50 kilometres ahead of us. How do you reckon you'll go?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Legs are a little bit sore after yesterday. I think we were swinging a bit towards the end, trying to distance Mellow Bello, I think that's the name of their team. So yeah, hopefully we've come back okay today, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
For stage 2, racing into and through Borenup Forest.
The main GC contenders, they're the first away from the magnificent setting of Mr. Barville Wines. This is a very fast and flat bunch ride through the opening kilometres, so staying in contention means hanging on and keeping up before the single track arrives and things start to break up. Stage 2 is a Cape to Cape classic and a favourite of many of the riders who have done multiple events. From Mr. Barville Wines, just outside Margaret River, the first opening section takes the riders into the magnificent Borenup Forest, before hanging a left and heading out to Cape Fracien on the highway to hell. From here, there is a grind up Contos Road and a 10-kilometre run back to the finish, where food and refreshments await. Once in a Borenup, the racing kicks into high gear and the main peloton starts to break up. The first 8K of the forest is a 175-metre climb up to the Borenup Lookout, and once again, the Mallow Velo pair are setting the pace with Open men's leaders Trek Shimano. A little over a year ago, the forest was burnt out, and in the 2022 event, there was no single track accessible, so it's great to be back into some old favourites for 2023.
We went back last year almost as a salute to Barantup, and that we knew we had to kind of go back and to the local community, and we couldn't avoid it because like it felt to me like if we didn't go there, we were almost saying, oh, it's burnt and you shouldn't go and see a burnt down bush. But this year, we're able to get just back into some of those trails, and I knew it was just a step forward to get Barantup back to where it should be. And it just felt good this year, going back, seeing more green, seeing some single trails, seeing some nice wildflowers. And it's actually quite amazing how, like, bushfire's a thing in Australia, and how a bush recovers and nature recovers. Yeah, last year I still thought it was a good course, and this year we made it better and riders loved it.
Back in the second bunch, the mixed pairs are battling it out. Peter Mullins is pushing through the pain caused by every jarring root and rock, holding off the pressure from second place Zoe Davison and Tristan Nash in the wheelie yellow team.
Oh, she's a little bit of pain, yeah, so we're just nursing it and there we go.
She's managing to suck it up?
Yeah, she'll tough it out, I think. Hey guys!
It's a three-horse race at the end of the highway to hell. Trek Shimano, Malo Velo and Giant Madura PCS hit Contos Road together and begin the 4-kilometre grind, oblivious to the stunning coastline that provides the backdrop. With 1 kilometre go on the hill, 15-year-old Connor Wright attacks. Trek Shimano hold on, but the Giant Madura PCS team can't match the effort. It's a big move from the young man to take it to two of the most experienced riders in Australian cycling. Cam Ivory and Dan McConnell are both Commonwealth Games athletes with multiple national titles and tour results to their names. It's a tight battle over the final few kilometres, but in the end, the yellow jersey pair are too strong once again and cross for their second stage victory, with Malo Velo just 25 seconds behind. It's days like this, and it's stages like this that have secured the Cape to Cape's place in the hearts and minds of Australian mountain bikers. There's drawn riders of all ages into the sport and changed lives along the way.
It was a day I was sitting back in Melbourne. It was pouring with rain. I think it was May or something like that. I was avoiding doing the gardening, and I sat down in front of SPS, and lo and behold, came a documentary about the Cape to Cape. And in total contrast to sort of dreary Melbourne, we had happy people, we had sun, we had enjoyment, we had fun. So that was enough to make me immediately go out and buy a mountain bike. In fact, I bought two. I bought one for myself and one for my wife. I've got to say it was probably life-changing, best decision I've ever made. It really is a fabulous sport, and it's something which I suppose fits with the Cape to Cape in that really anyone can do it. I know that's an often overused phrase, but the reality is that the courses are a challenge, but the reality is I did mine first after I'd done 3 months worth of training, and I finished it and it was fabulous, and I think it's evidenced by, if you do stand by the finishing line, everyone who comes across that line's got the greatest smile on their face.
Come on, Paul, you good thing! I know, I just realised, I looked down.
The beauty of pairs racing lies in the shared experience, and even amongst the solos, the camaraderie can make or break the spirit. This is exemplified beautifully by the Union Internationale de Cyclistes Médiocres de Montagne, or roughly translated, the Union of Mediocre Mountain Bikers.
Come on, mate. We're almost here. So we actually came about just before last year's event. We had 5 or 6 of us racing last year. The union's now at 10, and 6 of us have been able to get down this year. We've got 2 riders on debut, and they're learning the tricks of the trade. We had them out on the trails this morning, so we're confident we're going to be able to handle this. Mediocre. Really great banter and a really good appreciation of a quality beer. That's really where we start. Beyond that, do you need skills on the trails? It helps. Do you need to be able to work as a team? Absolutely. But you know, we've got great downhill riders, we've got great uphill riders. We don't all have those skills, but we're working on it. You know, when we need to help each other out, we help each other out. That's the way the union rolls.
You're pressurising me to cycle up the hill. Oh, Chris. See you later.
It's been an outstanding day on the Cape to Cape. When the weather delivers, the stages can take on legendary status. Back at Mr. Barvel Wines, there are wall-to-wall smiles and plenty of food and beverages to sample while trail stories are shared.
I'm here with our new Spanish Caitlin Brazier. You have just come in first place, second stage, Cape to Cape 2023. Looks like you have your orange jersey. How was that there today?
It was pretty exciting. It felt like we were on an adventure the entire 2.5 hours we were out there. I got a flat tyre down one of the highway to hill segment. Yeah, and it took us a really long time to change it. And I came off as well at the start. Yeah, it's been eventful for both of us.
Despite it being a tough day for Peter Mullins, she and partner Jared Moroney are rewarded with yet another stage victory.
Yeah, it was excruciating actually. I was glad today's like most of the course is in a straight line, but when I had to stop for corners, well, I couldn't really turn and I couldn't drink, and Jared fed me a couple of gels. So, but otherwise, I mean, this is our favourite course, and I think the sand really suits us. It's kind of adds a technical aspect to it, and I was hoping today maybe if we could kind of finish with them, then we'd still have a chance for the overall. So to get a gap was pretty exciting, and yeah, 2 more to go.
Well, the top dogs from every age category get awarded their leaders' jerseys. For the recreational riders, top dog means something else altogether.
It's a lovely day for it too, isn't it? Magic.
Stages at the Cape to Cape are designed to be achievable and over and done by midday so that riders can enjoy the rest of what this region has to offer. The Limestone Ridge has an expansive network of caves which you can visit. If you prefer to stay above ground though, you can explore the bush or the oceans, both of which are teeming with life. Foodies and connoisseurs, well, they're catered to by dozens of boutique growers and producers. Alternatively, you can just find a great place to eat and finish the day with a swim. All that matters is that you are recharged and ready to go for whatever awaits the next day. Day 3 of the Cape to Cape is Super Sock Saturday, which raises money for disadvantaged youth. The good people at Bike Doctor run the initiative, as well as being on hand every day for fine-tuning and last-minute emergencies.
I unloaded the bike and then just pedalled out of the car park and then got onto the road, and bang goes the chain. So we're really looking forward to that. We're 2 minutes out of the top 10 and we reckon we can chase them down.
We're getting them today.
Yeah boy.
This is the Margaret River stage, and a day that most of the field is really amped up for. This stage is heaven for lovers of single-track mountain biking.
Yeah, today, as far as I'm concerned, today's the day. That's the premier stage. It's the fun stuff. It'll be a battle to get out to the single track as close to the front as possible, so there's the least traffic going into the fun stuff. And then for me and my teammate, we'll go as hard as we can in the single track, try and build up a gap to make up for yesterday, and then just hold on for dear life all the way back here, and hopefully have some fun and do well, and then sit down to a beer.
Pretty decent night's sleep last night, and we're looking good, ready for the best stage of the race.
Stage 3, though, is really 3 stages in one. From the ever-popular Colonial Brewery outside of Margaret River the riders will head out in bunches again for an opening 8 kilometres of gravel riding before they hit the fun stuff. The Pines and the Woody Chup trails right on the edge of Margaret River are packed with single track, and Stage 3 incorporates 26 kilometres of their ups, downs, berms, jumps and features. With smiles on their faces, the riders will finish the stage with a blast along the Margaret River for 13 kilometres back to the Colonial Brewery, where cold refreshments await. The opening kilometres are hard and fast. This is about setting yourself up in a good position, because once into the single track, passing and breakaway opportunities will be limited. For the WA-based riders, today is an opportunity to push themselves on trails they've ridden many times and challenge the dominance of yellow jersey holders from over east.
Young Connor Wright and JP Vandermeer, like, I had them pegged for the win before this came up, but then Dan McConnell and Cam Ivory entered, and I thought, oh, this is actually going to be on. But it's so good to see, you know, Cam and Dan, they're actually really having to work for the wins that they've got, because the young fellas are right on them. I think there was only about 20 seconds in it yesterday. Connor Wright, he is going to be a world-class athlete at whichever discipline he chooses. He finished second at the Gravity Nationals last weekend, so he's got like a multitude of talent.
Oh man, he's just the diesel in our team. I'm just here to be chaperone and trying to show him some tips here and there, but other than that, he's definitely pulling the team along. It's a brilliant race. It brings everyone here, and because we're on local trails, it's just amazing to ride with them.
I can only do it this year because I'm only 15 and to have someone over 18, so JP's
I got voted too.
yeah, perfect chaperone for me, but yeah, its first experience is so good, yeah. Haven't had an easy day yet, it's just been full gas from the start, but yeah, it's so good learning so much from those boys, and even JP as well, you know, sitting in the kitchen talking about his road riding career and stuff, it's crazy. I'm learning so much every day, and yeah, it's a pleasure to ride with these boys.
15 years ago, when the Cape to Cape was just beginning, Connor Wright was only just arriving into the world, and now he's leading the race through trails that didn't exist when the race first started. The event, the sport and the riders are now deeply interconnected.
I was racing sort of cross-country 3 or 4 years before the Cape to Cape started, and we had nothing in this region at all. We were driving to Perth. Now we've got so many local riders who've grown, and I've seen bikes on cars, you know, just grow ridiculously.
The best part for me is I go into Pines when we're marking the course, and there's so many people in there. And I look at Margaret River now, and when we first started building those trails, I remember JD once saying, oh, Margaret River's renowned for surfing, but there will come a time when you'll drive through the middle of Margaret River and there'll be mountain bikes on the top of cars or on the back of all the cars. And he said it's always offshore in the Pines. And I thought it was such a great saying, and ever since then it's always resonated with me that it could be a thing, and it is now a thing, and I reckon after 15 years, that's probably the coolest part.
I mean, we're breeding riders in Margaret River now because they've got these trails to ride on. We've got Groms clinics. My other half's done it for 7 years with little girls, and you know, you start training them at 7 years of age. They're ready to race the Cape to Cape now, and they're ready for it, like mentally and physically. So yeah, they're going to be good riders. Much like surfers come out of this bay, mountain bikers are coming out of Margaret River.
The trails in Margaret River, like the event itself, are designed to be rideable and allow you to challenge and push yourself as hard as you choose. It's fast, flowy, smooth and fun, which is why this is one of the most beloved stages of the event. Even today, mums and kids are riding the Pines together. Helen Durbridge is competing in her first Cape to Cape with her son. But her son is Luke Durbridge, professional road cyclist, veteran of multiple Grand Tours and currently riding with Australia's team Jayco Alula.
I trained for it in 2019 to come down,
And then Luke very kindly phoned us the week before the Cape to Cape and said, Mum, do you want to go to Rugby World Cup in Japan? Well, so we went to Japan for the Rugby World Cup.
Sorry, Cape to Cape.
So, and then of course we've had COVID and a few things like that in the middle. So I was just going to sort of register as a solo and see how it went. And but no, just riding with Luke's just been so fabulous. I think that you don't get those moments in time very often, and I think I'm just a really lucky mum. It's just super special.
It is very different to my day job. I don't like getting dirty, you know. No, I think it's my 6th mountain bike ride I've ever done. I'm not allowed to snowboard or ski, but mountain biking, you know, with the whole Matthew van der Poel thing, they're sort of turning a bit of a blind eye to people doing mountain biking in the off season. Yeah, I'm actually loving it. So I'm thinking about getting a dropper post, and probably should have got a dual suspension. And so now I'm hooked, you know. So I'm loving it. Well, I think the best thing for me is that everyone's just out to challenge themselves, out to have a good time, out to have a beer after the race. It's a world-class event, and that's why I guess it's been, I mean, every person I've spoken to are not from Perth. They're from all over the world. East Coast, you know, Asia, Europe, everywhere. So it's obviously got a bit of a reputation throughout the world, and that's probably why it's so popular.
One day to go, and but it's just been a super moment to just spend this time down here with Luke every day. It's just fantastic to have those 4 days together. It's just so beautiful down here. It's awesome.
After tight, tricky racing in the single track, the stage opens up for the final few kilometres back to the Colonial Brewery. Following the Margaret River itself, the course becomes very XC, and it's a test of form and fitness once again. As they have all week, the Trek Shimano duo of Cam Ivory and Dan McConnell edge it once more, making it 3 wins from 3 stages.
3 of Cape to Cape. Cam Ivory and Daniel McConnell over the line.
After a final sprint, Mallow Velo finished second, just 3 seconds ahead of Team Winging It.
Pretty spicy, bit of a odd start to the race. We got a bit lost out there. Did a few bulk laps around the pines, and then after that, yeah, the pace was on.
Mate, you've done well after a little bit of a detour.
Margaret River and the Cape to Cape has delivered yet again. Great conditions and great tracks always equals a great stage.
No, it was great fun. The first part out of here was beautiful, flat trails. Everyone sorted themselves out, and then we hit the Yahoo section. Yeah. Oh, happy days. Got a bit quiet in the 3/4 stage, and then the last 5-10
Beautiful forest, wildflowers. What more can you want?
Yeah.
There are no changes in the lead of any of the main categories after stage 3. Peter Mullins and Jared Moroney successfully navigate another stage without incident to hold on to the green jersey. Every age category is celebrated at the Cape to Cape, and the younger riders provide just as much support to the older riders as they receive in return. For 68-year-old silver jersey holder Joe Grasso, this exchange is a big part of why he returns to the event year after
year. And in first place and retaining the yellow leaders jersey, Trek Shimano.
I just love seeing young people excel. I aspire to them as much as they aspire to me, and that's a great reward for me. The whole dynamics of this event and the participation of the community and just the crowd, the people that turn up, the atmosphere. I've been to Europe, I've been to World Championships and things before in Masters categories, and this is as good as any I've ever been to anywhere in the world, and that's what makes me come back.
Third place. Across to the G.
Day 4 of the Cape to Cape dawns grey and overcast, and the final stage looks set to be a bit of a wet one. The weather cannot dampen the spirit, however, and the riders arrive at Wise Wines, amped up for the final stage of Cape to Cape. Most of the field here is competing against themselves and the distance. But for the union of mediocre mountain bikers, it's about races within the race.
It is, you know, the lovely thing about being in a team is we've got the camaraderie, we've got the support. So the two boys out the front, the Dudley brothers, they've been doing really well. They've been racing each other. They worked out, actually, if they had formally ridden it as a pair, they'd be top 5. So that's fantastic. But we know we ride informally as pairs and we're giving each other support. And you know, the other boys up the back who are doing the hard yards, getting the cramps, you got someone to sit there on the side of the road with you, pull you along, get you the confidence to keep going, and that's been lovely too. Every day after the race, the Strava comes out, oh, who was faster on the downs, who was faster on the ups, the boys doing the jumps on the downs.
It is top speed.
We do watch, yes, top speed is a regular visitor.
Bragging rights.
On the bragging rights, yes. Sure.
We've had a ball, haven't we? Yeah, lots of dramas and things like that, but we've helped push each other, that's for sure. Yeah. When I start crying, Lara helps me, and when Lara starts crying, we don't literally cry.
Crying on the
inside. On the inside, yeah. But it's been such a good event as well, and so much fun. I'm glad we ended up coming together last minute, and it's been a good 3 days, and we're looking forward to this day here.
Yeah, it should be pretty sweet. Eagle Bay is really nice. I don't remember too much of this stage from last year, but hey, we'll give it a go. Hopefully this rain firms up the ground a little bit.
Even on a grey day, Cape Naturaliste is a stunner, and the stage opens with a section out to the beach and back along the coast road. It's a chance to warm the legs up and to complete the journey from Cape to Cape, just like the event originally conceived 15 years ago.
Oh, when we first came up with this crazy idea, we got in a mile forward drive and we drove to Cape Leeuwin, and we spent a day driving all the back tracks and everything, and we got to Cape Naturaliste and we went lighthouse to lighthouse. And when we designed these loop courses, it always felt hard. How are we going to do that in Dunsborough when there's barely any land? And we got really lucky with Wise coming along and being prepared to be our start-finish venue, and we had to get super creative in terms of the course. So it really is a maze, and they go out of Wise and back into Wise and then out to Meal Up and back into Wise, and it's one of the only places we have where spectators and family and everyone can go and be based for the whole stage and see them start, see them finish and see them come back into the venue. It's probably has made it now almost the ultimate final stage, because we are back up at Cape Naturaliste, but also for all the supporters that have followed their riders all the way through, they don't have to run around and try to find them on the tracks. They come back to them, and I think that's been really the best part of that redesign. It's a great way to finish 4 days at Cape to Cape.
Anything can happen in mountain biking, but as Stage 4 gets underway, all the category leaders have a firm grip on the GC jerseys. For the challengers, today is mostly about trying to take a stage win to finish the week.
We put a lot of effort into designing the courses, and when you do, and people come in and love it, and it's great, like when Cam Ivory and Dan McConnell love it, and they're Australian champions and they're on a world tour and they think everything's awesome. So when they like it, I take real pride. But like today, like I'm leaving the finish line, we're waiting for the last person to come across, and this 71-year-old woman comes across the finish line last. And I went up to her and said, oh, congratulations, you know, it's amazing, it's a long day in the saddle. And she turned around, she had a smile from ear to ear, and she said, yeah, but it was the best day. I absolutely loved that. And I was thinking, man, if you can love that, and you've been out there for 5.5 hours, like twice as long as Dan McConnell and Cam Ivory, like that probably is even more satisfying, that someone like that can get just as big a buzz in their life out of it as Australian and international riders. So yeah, it's cool.
Cape to Cape's one of my favourite events of the year. I don't get here every year. This year, yeah, just managed to tag it on the back of my trip, but to come away, ride these awesome trails over here with good mates, yeah, it's always fun. Once the gun goes, we're full gas. We're being pushed quite hard here this week by the local Mellow Velo guys. They're a fair bit younger than us, but yeah, they're just taking it to us in the single trails. They've got a lot of speed, a lot of skills, and it's hard work to beat them.
I think my first pairs race was the Pioneer in 16 or something. Did that with Anton Cooper, which was a memorable event. But yeah, I think I really like the pairs. It's sort of just, you know, we don't really do the pairs racing too much, so it's just sort of mixes it up a little bit. It's nice to actually have that sort of team feeling. A lot of your own racing is very much all on you, so it's nice to mix it up with a bit more of a team vibe, and you can share the experience with someone else. So yeah, for me it's really cool to see some young guys who hopefully can actually step up and, you know, actually race at the highest level.
If the 15th anniversary of the Cape to Cape has highlighted anything, it has really highlighted the importance of the event to the riders themselves. Over its 15-year history, it has cemented its place in the sport, and with experienced heads like Peter Mullins bringing the next generation of riders to the event, it will hopefully continue from strength to strength.
Yeah, for me it's my 8th Cape to Cape, I think. That's how long I've been coming over here, and I feel like it was it's part of like Australian mountain biking history, really. And for me, I kind of started racing here, I must have been about 25, and I at that time wished that I had started when I was even younger. And so for these girls, I am enjoying being able to introduce them to the best part of mountain biking in Australia from such a young age, so that they can do 20 Cape to Capes.
Peter Mullins is great. Like, she's very experienced, so I can learn heaps from her. And she definitely suggests a lot of races and a lot of tips, and really helps me grow and develop as a rider. So I travelled all the way from New South Wales to Western Australia, and I'm very glad I did it because it's been a great event.
For Caitlin at 16, she's better to be coming to races like this and racing in big bunches of men on different blind trails every day, as opposed to going and racing, you know, cost a lot of money to go overseas and race World Cups, and to potentially not perform at the same level. I think the confidence they get from winning races like this is really important in their development as juniors. So I think this is a better pathway to ultimately eventually becoming a World Cup mountain bike racer.
While the event exists mainly for the riders, the finish of Stage 4 is there for their supporters. A steep climb up the Tass Hill within Wise Wines that allows the supporters to get right up close to the action. It's an exciting final leg of the 4 days. And with one last line honours to race for, it's Mellow Velo challenging the Trek Shimano pair. Once again, the 15-year-old sensation Connor Wright kicks first and goes for the line. It underlines what a great week the young man has had, but teammate JP Vandermeer doesn't have the legs to take on the yellow jersey holders. Cam Ivory and Dan McConnell cross the line together to make it 4 stage wins from 4. Behind them, Joel Green, he also completes a clean sweep to win his first Cape to Cape in the solo riders category.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like we've only just teamed up for the first time. We've always ridden against each other, so yeah, we've just had an awesome time. Plenty of laughs, and that's why we came over here, just to have good fun and to have some close racing. Like the young guys really pushing us. Yeah, it was awesome.
In the mixed pairs, local duo Tristan Nash and Zoe Davison cross for their first stage win of the week, but it's not enough to knock Peter Mullins and Jared Moroney off the top spot. The roller RC pair secure themselves back-to-back victories at the Cape to Cape in what must have been one of the toughest weeks on the bike for Peter Mullins. There's been no stopping the rock salt Liv Schramm duo this week. Despite crashes, punches, mechanical problems, the young pairing of Caitlin Brazier and Elizabeth Nussbaum crossed the line and add their names to the prestigious list of Cape to Cape female winners.
It was really cool, like even from the base there were people that were all the way down the bottom and they were running up. I saw you were running up with us. It was really good and everyone had their phones out, they were cheering. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's great, yeah. No, it's nice to have a win and it was great battling with him. I'm glad Peter was able to finish with a shoulder and yeah, it was a great week of racing.
Yeah, it's probably the best day just because there's so many variations of this and that, and like it adds to every rider really because it's got the open fire roads and the single trail and that. So yeah, I actually really like it.
It's probably of all the stages the one that feels like the raciest race at the start because we have that little ditch off the start and then straight along the road. So it kind of feels like a road race into a cross-country race.
It's definitely hard to finish though.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks, oh, the last stage will be nice and cruisy, but it's a very hard stage.
And then you guys added an extra climb just to make it harder.
After 4 epic days, the Cape to Cape has truly delivered on its motto. The finish of Stage 4 encapsulates everything this event is about. Grit, perseverance, community and camaraderie. It's a great few days with your mates, whether you're the first one home or the last one home.
I mean, the most rewarding part for me is people coming to where I live and enjoying it, and then they go home and we've still got it. So lucky to live here and have all these trails around me and see my friends when they come from around Australia once a year to Margaret River for the race, and it's like a big party for 4 or 5 days.
I think when you do stuff, like it's easy to have harebrained ideas that never go anywhere. I've had plenty of them. So it's really rewarding to see this now. And then we meet with the local mountain biking guys and they're so proud of their trails and what they've now got. But they don't know where we started 15 years ago. But now there's guys with fully fledged trail building businesses and they've grown out of Margaret River to go and build these trails all around Australia, and that's kind of part of what I look at and go, you know what, that might not have happened if we hadn't had the idea with the Cape to Cape. And yeah, for that whole multiplier effect and carry-on effect in a community, but into really good people and other businesses and everything else. So yeah, I'm really proud of that.
To Cape thanks everyone who has raced, supported and helped deliver the event for the last 15 years. So, here's to the next 15. See you next year.